Welcome. Take it up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Mehta, who is from Catchpoint, and he's responsible for everything that's operating out of India, but also managing the services, engineering services globally. Welcome to the show, Nith.
Thank you, Jessica. Nice to be on the show.
Yeah, I wanted to get innovations taking place to help a lot of the large retailers like Google, Amazon, Best Buy in optimizing that user experience to optimize revenue. I know you guys handle very large accounts. So share with us what's going on the innovation side.
Sure. So we are in a very competitive space, and we are in an ever-evolving technology time, right? At the same time, so it's so important for organizations to be as proactive as possible to ensure they deliver good user experience, ensure there is minimal problems for the end users. And Catchpoint is this in the space where we are helping organizations, whether it is retailers, banking services, media, entertainment, all these organizations whose business depends on their digital services, they rely on Catchpoint to proactively detect their problems so they can solve them before they impact the end users, right? And especially now during COVID, it's even more important because you have users accessing services from their home connections, which is obviously not as reliable as users who are probably in office connections, leased lines, and so on.
Yes.
And so we are in the right place to ensure that we help organizations get ahead of the curve and ensure they deliver good experience for the end users.
Yes, I know that with the user experience, it's a big deal to monitor that. But what you do is you're actually simulating that experience, right? You're not like monitoring live the experience, you're simulating it. Explain to us, why is that important?
Sure. So we have multiple solutions. One of the primary ones is what we call a synthetic monitoring. It's an approach where we simulate end users just the way they interact with an application. Let's say you are using a popular e-commerce website to go and buy a product. You have users all over the world doing this, and Catchpoint simulates the end users by using real machines, real browsers, replicating what an end user does, what we call as using scripts. So we automate the process of, let's say, you open your browser, you type in the URL, search for a product, add to cart, and eventually check out. Now, as an end user, you are interacting with your browser on your machine, your laptop, desktop, or your tab. But behind the scenes, that's behind the browser, there's a lot of moving parts, right? Which is your network, the internet in between, the network used by the service provider, the technologies used like Amazon or any other cloud providers. There's a lot of moving parts behind by the time the pages could actually load and for the user to interact and complete their transaction. And what we look at is providing the visibility under the hood. So the end users or the engineers of an enterprise could proactively detect these problems, because end users, my mother, if she's shopping online, if she's having a problem, she's not going to call, let's say, an Amazon or a Best Buy and say, I'm having a problem because you
Right.
have a network problem here, right? So we are taking care of that, helping organizations get visibility, which they otherwise don't have. Right, so that's one part of it, which is synthetic. Now we do also do what we call as real user monitoring, which requires you to inject a script in the page, which is more of looking at what the experience of the real users are. But guess what? If the user hasn't got to the website, you would never have real user visibility, which is where the synthetic comes in, right? So it's a combination of both.
Okay. So it's like a self-service technology. It's a robotic, automated way of constantly monitoring very critical part of that UX experience to make sure it's going as smoothly as you want it to be.
Absolutely. We spoke about an e-commerce example. Think about a banking service. Where you're trying to transfer money to someone, or you're trying to pay online for something that you're trying to buy. How can a bank ensure that this particular transaction that the user is trying to perform is working, right? And you obviously don't want the user, if it does not work, the user is going to call the bank. But how can you be proactive, right? So it does not impact the end user. It's also about brand reputation, while you're also focusing on detecting any technical problems.
Yes, I know that monitoring is very critical. Talk to us about the trends that are making it even more critical. Like, for example, you've got this ongoing fast iterations of that experience by the DevOps team?
Sure, sure. There's a lot of at the end of the day, technology is evolving by days, right? It's not. It's no more by years and weeks. We are seeing new technologies coming out to the market almost every single day. So traditionally, where you had developers building products, operations managing the infrastructure, network taking care of the network, that's not going to work anymore with the pace at which things are evolving, right? So whether it was from a on-premise data center in the back in the days, probably a couple of decades ago, to cloud, to multi-cloud, to cloud on the edge, that's on the infrastructure space. Now there is also other technological evolutions from methodologies like monolithic applications to microservices so that they can deploy applications faster. So giving more control and flexibility to organizations. And also network as a service, right? We are at a space where everything is available as a service. So naturally, the people and the talent has to align with the technological evolution, right? Which is where we've seen from DevOps to DevSecOps, SREs, and several other concepts like CI/CD, observability. So you hear a lot of these buzzwords, which is around there, which you would hear day in and day out. And a buzzword that was pretty hot in the market a couple of years ago might have changed as we speak today, right? So it's so important for organizations to align. And a catch point is at the space where, with all these technological changes, there is one thing that never has changed for organizations and enterprises, that is delivering good customer experience. And we are in the space where you can stay on track with all the changes that's happening on the technology, on the talent, on the people side. Yet, how do you track your delivering good experience? And we are focused on ensuring organizations can continue to stay track and keep focused on delivering good experience while they're also tackling all these changes in the technology space.
Yes, and I think that with the DevOps, you're testing out new functions and features of your user experience to try to compete in the marketplace. So having your tool allows you to do that with minimizing the risks of problems. And I think in the retail space is at this point, like either you make it or you either you succeed or you die. Basically, everybody's shopping online. If you don't have that great experience online, then you're going to lose out.
Absolutely. Last year, there was a popular shopping website which went down during Black Friday, which is the worst time to go down, right? And guess what? Now that's probably the hottest season for e-commerce, right, in the US and other locations. But the same large enterprise also went down in 2018 as well. And unfortunately for the same reason, right? So there's a lot of things that organizations put in terms of effort to prepare for these busy seasons, but ensuring that they are tracking their changes, whether it's technology, learning from competition, learning from their mistakes and evolving, and most important, do they have the visibility that is going to keep them on track to their ultimate goal, which is business results, ROI, and delivering good customer experience. So it's super important, not just necessarily for retailers, right? Now, retailers is on one side. Now, retailers in turns use a lot of technology, whether it's cloud computing, whether it is payment services, or it is, let's say, tag management, a lot of other services that they leverage for their technology to work. They also have to prepare and ramp up for these busy seasons. So we work with all these, not just retailers, not just banking services, but also with those, like I said, everything as a service, whether it's technology, infrastructure, network, edge computing. Now we work with both these sides to ensure that they all come together, have complete visibility, and again, stay focused on delivering good experience.
This
Yep.
shopping season, busy season, you know, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas holidays are coming up, but we're all going to still stay home, work from home, shop from home. So what changes do you think retailers will do in this unprecedented time here?
Sure. So a lot of organizations are aware of what they are looking at. We work with a lot of e-commerce companies here at Catchpoint, and we also work with the other technology providers, which are leveraged by these e-commerce companies, right? So a lot of preparation they're probably towards the wrapping up stages of their preparations, because a lot of organizations have this thing called as a code freeze towards the end of September or October, and some early November, much before Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Cyber Monday. In fact, all the way up to Boxing Day, December 26th, right? So there's a lot of efforts which has gone towards load testing, ensuring the performance is optimized for the event, because it's not just one retailer who has offers, discounts. There are multiple others. So the end users have multiple options. They definitely want to avoid having any problems on this big day, especially at this time, because like you said, not a lot of people are going to go on site to a store to buy, right? Everybody's doing shopping online, and this year is going to be a lot more bigger, right? So um, uh, organizations have prepared, one, to ensure they have visibility, they have not left out any blind spots, and trying to optimize so they know they will be able to handle traffic. And also there are some other methodologies like opening up for offers a few days ahead of Thanksgiving, so not all traffic comes together and break things, right? So there are different approaches and methodologies that organizations have focused on. But what is extremely important is um, those who have measured historically how they have performed and worked on improving are well prepared, because we've seen, like I said, organizations who had problems in 2018 during Thanksgiving, and that repeated again in 2019. And we've also seen organizations who've never had any problem with respect to the volume of traffic they get. So it boils down to preparation um, based on data, historical events, and so on.
Okay, well, let's see what's going to happen. Every day is the same. When you say it would be smart for them to make all these holiday offerings, coupons, discounts, all that, just like spread it out so that's a wider window of holiday shopping.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, Jessica, sorry, I missed out mentioning this, is Catchpoint offers this program called the Black Friday Assurance Program for our for e-commerce customers or anybody out there, where we provide them with expertise and some monitoring capabilities free of cost during this period. So any retailer out there who wants to be a part of that and make or capitalize on this offer, they should, because we've helped a lot of organizations during this period to either prepare or also just keep an additional eye on their services.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the show, Neth, to talk about the innovation and the UX experience, with your simulator monitoring technology and the trends that you're seeing. So let's see what's going to happen during this holiday season.
Thank you so much, Jessica. It was a pleasure talking to you.
There you have it. Check it out with Jessica Lee, Mehta from Catchpoint.